Here we are. We are live. Gonna go for it with this 372. So the status is that Patrick sent me some stuff, and the idea is that with the goodies that he sent me, hopefully I can basically make enough to offset the cost of redoing doing a 372. So we're doing it. Let's just do it. Gotta go for it. So let me bring it up over here, and that way I can see comments. Come on, phone. Got both my phones plugged in right now, so hopefully this goes okay. Uh-oh. Loud. Okay. Two-stroke made it. Great. So the first order of business was to clean these up, which I did. So the crankcases are cleaned up. This is not the same crankcase as this other one. It came from a different saw, but it's in better shape, I think, than the other one, mainly because this pin right here is kind of crucial. And the other one looked kind of wallowed out to me. So that may work and it may not, and blah, blah, I was not super excited to see if I could get that to jive, Anywho, yeah, so let's put some bearings in. I'm going to put some bearings in, seals, do all that stuff right here for you. And of course, I got all this crap on my bench, but whatever, it's going to be all right. We're going to be all right. Larry made it. Good. Hey, Larry. My favorite screwdriver. So I popped the seals out. These are Nachi bearings. 6202s for a Model 372. Fairly standard stuff. I'm not tapping these in, I'm just tapping them to make sure they're centered. And then I'm going to pull them in cold. With some 1/2-inch threaded rod, some washers, good assortment of washers. You guys have seen me do this before. This is nothing new, nothing special. Now, I was pretty careful to clean these up pretty good, so I did that off camera because it's really boring. But once you get this make sure it's straight, not white, it's real close. One little tap, it'll get it straight, and then it'll run right in.
Matt?
Yep.
Are you live?
Yep.
Is there air conditioning on upstairs?
Yep. It's the Sarge. Hey, Sarge. Yep, just got to give it a little tippy tap straight. Once you're straight, this will just finish its way off, no problem. No problem at all. Need a good assortment of washers, though, to do this. Mega Dirty. Mega, you made it. I know, so much for earlier, right? Didn't ban you from the channel, I promise. At least not yet. That's how it goes in. That's all you need. You can put these bearings in hot if you want, or cold, up to you. This is probably the last set of bearings this crankcase will ever see, so it's not like there's bearings been in and out and in and out and in and out and worn out the pocket. Very nice. Alright, let's get the other one. Throw that over here for the moment. $13 people watching. Who else showed up? Again, you're not... See how it's cocked there? You don't want that. Don't want that. Just want to start it. That's it. I did not use the original. I went with the other case half. It's a little faded, but it's probably a little bit better integrity-wise, you know. Feel it like this. Is it going? Yeah, not quite. It's almost. It's close to straight. Pull it back off. Only takes a second to do. You could take just as long putting the darn thing in the oven. You know, a lot longer actually. If you put the darn thing in the oven, 15, 20 minutes, an hour later, whatever it is, to heat it up, and then you drop it in, and then you lose your heat differential anyway, and then it just doesn't go anyway. You can get real frustrated in a hurry with that sort of stuff. That's where I ended up, because I tried putting things in the oven, and it just made life hard. Now, I've had some internal debate with myself what to do about this particular bearing. And I'm not sure there's a right or wrong answer. The one that was in here was flush like this, but you can drive it in further. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer there. This little rubber thing goes on here. one thing I want to do is check out this crank. Just want to stick the thread on here and see kind of where it ends up. As long as I can get a nut on here, they'll be fine. You know? There he's here. Good. The crank will push the bearing the rest of the way. I don't think it's going to go any further. Yeah, you guys don't have to be chatty. You can just watch, hang out. I'm fine with just hanging out. That's okay. If somebody's got questions, they can shoot them. You know, whatever. Okay. Gotta concentrate now, right? Okay. So, this is how I assemble 372. It's PTO side first. Get an M14 rod here. If anybody wants a set of these tools, they can always email me. I'll put my email in the description. Just a threaded rod with the right thread on the end. Threaded down, loosey-goosey, not tight. Sleeve goes on. Need a handle. So a set of these tools, if anybody's interested, a set that'll do about 90% of the relevant chainsaws, Stihls and Husqvarnas. Everything from a Stihl 026 to a 660, everything from a 346 XP to a 394, 3120, old school 272s, all that stuff. So if you want a set, they're 170 shipped. There's a few oddballs in there that the kit won't do, but I have solutions to that too for a few bucks extra. That's it. So that is pulled in. Now somebody's liable to be out there and be like, Matt, you pulled the wrong side of it. Cranks backwards. That would be bad, right? Just reverse it. Pull this apart. Nut and washer. You know what? Before I hold on, I got something to contend with. This kit only assembles saws. It doesn't split them or anything else. All it does, it's designed to assemble chainsaws. Or if you think about it a little bit differently, it's designed to put a bearing on a crank, and the bearing in this case happens to be in the crankcase. But it does it at room temperature. It's completely controlled. You don't have to hurry up or anything like that. You don't have to hurt yourself. Stuff that drives me berserk. Why would you hurt yourself, you know? Okay, so at this point, let's make sure that the surfaces are appropriately degreased with brake cleaner. Okay. Bad carb kit. Good. Oh, nice. It runs good now? The number is SKF 372. There were just 6202s. Personally, I don't necessarily see the point in getting SKFs. The Natchis are plenty good. If you have to have SKF, fine, but I don't see what, you know, what the big deal is. Same deal, degrease the surfaces. Now, one of the reasons we degrease the surfaces is because we're going to use goop on here of some kind. So, and part of the reason for that is just because extra insurance, but also if you get a little bit of pitting in the surface, then it helps to have a little bit of extra sealer, you know? As a procedural thing, I will do the flywheel side first with 1184. Mountain View Saw Shop. Welcome. So the reason I do this side first is I want to put the gasket on the flywheel side, and I want this to tack up a little bit longer. That's all. Not like there's a right or wrong to it, it's just that's the way that I do it. Now, if you want to get really nitpicky about this stuff, what you can do is take these crankcases and put them on a flat plate, preferably a granite plate, but a piece of glass will work, and with a piece of sandpaper, and then sand them super flat. And then almost assuredly you don't need sealer. Again, I'm just me, you know. I like the sealer. For the most part, I just like to get rid of the metal shine, you know? It's good to me. Blue Loctite. Now we put our positioning pins in. Two things I need to look for down here. Positioning pin is one of them. I actually found it. Ah, the circlet. Here it is. Found it. Okay. Positioning pins are in. Okay. Loctite's in. Positioning pins are in. All we need to do now is get a gasket. I do like the highway gaskets. They got just everything here, so might as well take advantage of that. It's inexpensive and reasonable quality. Again, the nice thing about the tools and the sealer, you're not hurrying. You can hurry if you want, but you don't have to. So that sits there. Teeny tiny amount of oil here. Maybe it goes on a little better. Make sure there's nothing interfering. And you're ready to go together. Now this does tend to get a little bit off center and wacky, so pay attention to that. But let's get a rod here. And in this case, you can use a small sleeve. It does not need to be a large sleeve. Highway doesn't make 395 gaskets. I don't have a problem with the Farmertech gaskets for 394s anyway. Completely your call if you want to use, OEM or not. The OEM kits are not that expensive, so gasket kits anyway. Hey, Brandon. Yeah, I like the 1184 myself. It definitely adds extra insurance, I think. You could put this on with the impact, but I don't really feel like it. You know what I mean? At this point, you just literally take this and crank it on down. Oh, a little tighter. There we go. Most crucial thing is making sure the positioning pins are in the right spot. Calm down. I know, one day I'll get my other bench cleared off there, but it doesn't ever seem to get that way, you know? Yeah, two-stroke. I could, you could do Farmertech on 395. I've done it plenty of times. I don't seem to have an issue. For the case gasket anyway. For what is it? For other gaskets, I do worry a little bit. For the seals, rather. One other thing you can do is when you keep it straight, you can just put a screw in here. I knew one guy, I forget who it was, that actually used a threaded rod, like M5 threaded rod, to help keep it all straight as it went together. Sounded like a good idea to me. This is not going for some reason. Huh. With this crank, it looks like you do actually need to have that bearing all the way that way. Interesting. Well, it's up against the bearing. the easy way now is actually just to heat it up and push. Which I'd rather not do, but probably be the easiest thing to do. No, it's not the bearing. Remember, the bearing is where it's supposed to be, or the bearing is where I put it. So this pulls the crank up against the bearing, very simply. So let's just heat it up. So this is actually all the way down as far as the tool would get it. It was the bearing being improperly positioned. It does this particular crank looks like it has a boss that goes all the way up against that bearing. So we'll heat it up and push. Yes. There's really nothing rubber in here other than the 1184 that would be an issue. And the amount we're going to heat this is going to be not an issue for 1184. Gonna get a couple more in position here. Probably should have done this first. And heat it up again. And hopefully we can get that bearing to seat. No hurry. Where did my 4mm go? Always losing things. It's under here. Great. Just thinking, you know, if I can just tweak this a touch. That's just the bearing sliding in. Don't remember having this issue on previous 372s. Well, she's together now. Not usually the way I like to do it, but it'll work. Not intending to hard impact it. We just want to get it to seat pretty good. Just heat it up again. And kind of see what happens. If there's any stress, it'll come out, you know? Guess it's all right. Hey, David. Yeah, the Pharmatech stuff is certainly, as Walt puts it, a moving target. I fully agree with that. Some of it seems to be all right. Some of it's not so good at all. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just tapping it, making sure. That's just fine. Okay. Let's get a seal and put it in this side. It's just awful hot. And put the seal on the other side. Brake cleaner. Now this side seal is a little bit different than the others because there's a bushing that's involved. Nice thing about anaerobic sealer is that gasoline just washes it away. So put a little bit on the outside here of the seal. copper here that's handy for tapping these sort of things in. I put it in flush. Okay. The one thing we're going to forget on this is that teeny tiny little O-ring that goes in there. I have already forgotten it. I don't know. I should actually have it here. I don't. That's silly of me. Go to the shed and get that. Alright, so let me get... There's a teeny tiny little O-ring that goes in, and then the bushing goes in. Give it a little bit of a clean here with a wire wheel. As long as the bushing is smooth all the way around, you're good. No vertical nicks. Oh, that's fine. Wolf. Yeah, the kill switches I don't like so much. You're right. I'll cobble everything, Sarge. Everything gets cobbled. But I need a tiny O-ring. I'll be right back. I'll take it right out to the shed. Okay, here we go. I know, this WD-40 can just keeps sitting here, doesn't it? Great. So this tiny little O-ring is very important on 372s. It goes right here before the bushing. I'm gonna get some grease. Grease this up, inside and outside. And then, the hard part, doing the Coke can trick on this. The O-ring needs to sit down very gently. Then what you gotta do is take your Coke can, stick it down there, and then stick the bushing inside of it. And the idea is you want the Coke can to help guide the bushing down and over the lip. At least that's the idea. Had something the exact same diameter as the bushing, just go kaboom, and it would be perfect. But I don't. But it's okay. I know you guys think I'm crazy. Can't even see the comments, but I can tell. Come on. Almost there. Gently peel the Coke can out, and now the bushing has been guided down without puckering the seal or popping out that silly spring that's in there. Alright, that washer goes on. Do the oiler pickup. little bit of a 1184 on here too. Use gravity to help you. There. Okay. I am not worried about this oiler here working. So, just going to some degreaser. I put a little bit of 1184 right around here on all the oilers, unless it's a brand new rubber line. If it's a brand new rubber line, I don't worry about it. Make sure that sits down. Okay, 1, 2, guide that down in, and you got it. Okay, this little plastic piece goes here for the spring. Click, good. Brake band. Get the spring. As you will. Yeah. We'll pop it, and we'll. Sometimes you can actually get this by hand. Just your fingers. If you're really strong. I am not that strong tonight. And what I do. I don't like what happened to this. Take a square a squarish looking screwdriver. I do this. With the WD-40 can, I know. Get a drink here too. Come on. Come on, little buddy, you can do it. There. Quick, get the thing on, right? I would not describe that as easy, you know? The descriptor there is not easy. This guy from the other saw, so I'll be right back. Let me clean this up. Thanks, Wolf. Okay. We're definitely getting there. This is fine progress. I'd like to go faster, but whatever, you know. Alright, this spring goes in. Where's the flag piece? It's here, I'm just not seeing it. I screwed that screw back into it. I remember, so it wouldn't get lost. It's lost. Have no fear, I probably have another one here. Yep, got one. Clean this up. A little bit of grease on this piece here. Okay. Some fresh blue Loctite. Got lucky because I got the screws here. Now, super important, I've broken plenty of these because this has to sit fully down before, because you can't try to pull it down, you know, pull the spring down. It doesn't work. You'll break it. I'm missing all the comments, guys. Sorry. I'll get to them. Hang on a second. Did this break? God. Now I'm going to be pissed. Did I just break that? Did. Darn. That's exactly what you don't want to have happen. Now I gotta go outside and if I see if I have any more. That's crappy. Really, this has to get pulled back. Where is pour it back for me? Back, but you can't do that. Now I'm getting frustrated. I want it to go. Nothing in the way. That's already too far forward. This spring was too easy to stick in here. Hang on a second. Yep. This piece needs to sit up against there, maximally forward. When it comes back, it should stay there, not go past it. That's the issue there. Okay. Let me go see if I can find another piece. I'm sorry, guys. Safety squints. Craig made it. Great. Be back. Let me go see if I have that part. Hope so. Again this time. Yes, it's not running in there. That's down. Hopefully it's not a problem. Can't tell you how many of those things I've broken. Plenty. Just another $8 that disappears. Now, you should be able to pull this darn thing back. Can't do it now, then you're really in trouble. Click. Good. Okay. This. There's your worm. Now I need a clutch. Clutch seemed to be okay. Very importantly, the clutch actually helps seal the bushing to the bearing to the seal. So it's actually integral with that seal. Put the grease on here. Make sure it sits down. Rim, washer. Where's my E-clip? There it is. And these do tend to fly off into another dimension, so be careful. Okay. Now, over here. We got a seal. Even though this is tapered, I still tend to do the Coke can trick on these. Don't even know why. Alright, we're back. Sorry. Let me see if we can go back and... Yeah, I could certainly use a drink. I can attempt to go perfect good sauce. Hint, Walmart brand, big clear, Buckless, CRC works just as good. Okay. Oh, it made me enjoy that a lot. Right? I need part sauce. Everybody needs part sauce. Need part sauce, not John. Good point, Craig. Closing in at 3120 and 460 still. Okay. Piston. Bearings. Okay. Just come to Australia. Oh, Mountain View Saw Shop. Do I have pressure and vac test? Not lots. With something like this, so on a build like this, I'm confident enough that this went together properly that I don't need to worry about it. Especially with the Coke can tricks and the seals and whatnot, I'm pretty confident that it's not going to be a problem, if you know what I mean. So, if I'm questioning something, you can do the pressure and vac test. when it comes right down to it, pressure and vac testing though really is testing basically the crankcase and the seals. It's kind of hard to test the intake blocks and all that stuff sometimes, so you're not really sure whether an intake block or whatever. And by the time, here's the other thing, on the 372, you're testing the intake boot, the base, the seals, but getting it all sealed is not particularly easy. If you get a crack in the boot, maybe that'll show up. Okay, great. But then you have to remove the cylinder head anyway. So I don't know. I don't always do pressure and vac testing on a build like this. I probably won't. If it runs smooth, then I won't worry about it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. If you want to do it and you don't trust yourself, then that's fine. And it's about time for me to go. Yeah. So I've got other stuff I gotta do tonight. Mainly like relax, because tomorrow's a big long day. But if at all possible, let's get this together tomorrow night. If we can finalize this tomorrow night, that would be great. I have a brand new piston here, brand new Meteor, single. I think it's a single ring, and I actually have. It's not in amazing shape, but it's a clutch cover that would definitely work for this. So why not? We'll throw that on there, and Patrick will definitely have a complete saw. So, anything else going, guys? Any other questions, comments, anything you want to ask me? Yeah, I got a long day tomorrow. I don't get home till after 7. So I don't know what ultimately is going to happen tomorrow, but if I can go on tomorrow and finish this up tomorrow night, that'd be great. I just don't know if it's going to happen or not. Okay, thanks everybody for hanging around. Do appreciate it, and you guys take care and good night. Here's my email in case anybody wants my email. Matty05@AOL.com. Just get rid of the extra ampersands. Alright, have a good night, guys. Take care.